Hello world, my name is Scott, or as I affectionately call myself, the bitter old queen. Okay, I am not a professional. My stories, suggestions, and comments are anecdotal only. Okay, um, I'd like to share in this video some of my own personal life hacks. I love sharing life hacks and I love getting other people's life hacks. So, um, my hacks, though, are like everyone else's. They're designed to save you time, money, improve your health, and they're better for the planet too. So, here we go. Okay. First of all, let me say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay. If there's something you like to do a certain way, by all means, keep doing it that way. Okay. The first tip I have is for shopping addictions. Okay. I used to work right near Macy's here in Herald Square in New York here. First I worked near it, then I worked around the corner from it, or I should say close by. And anyway, for about 20 years, this went on. And then I changed jobs and I started working downtown. Well, and there was no shopping down there. But so anyway, before long, I started to realize that my house looked like a Macy's ad and I had fallen to this consumerism, but I was especially fond of the sales. So I decided to to wait 24 hours. This is what I decided. I don't know where I heard this, but I said just wait 24 hours. So I'd go in there and see a coat, and I'd say, "Oh, I have to have this. It's 40% off and this and that." But I got the rule. I said, "Wait 24 hours. If you want it, come back tomorrow and pick it up tomorrow." Well, it didn't take long before I realized I never went back for anything. Okay, I mean, it took 3 or 4 times, and then I realized, oh my gosh, and it helped me to break my shopping addiction. So, and that was even when I would go back. This is after I stopped working in that area. I still would go over to Macy's like on the weekends. So, anyway, this also works for Amazon too. Put things on your wish list. And a lot of times too, they'll come and they'll offer you deals the next day or keep checking back. And also, if you'll accept a later delivery date, everyone who uses Amazon probably knows this, or if you'll get things, in the same box and stuff like that, you can save even more money. So, but if you don't want to pay the Amazon annual fee, which is like $160 now or something, any order over $35 or more, you get free shipping. So anyway, you can always do that too. So, but the one thing I have to say is please stop buying anything plastic or any kind of junk. Okay? That'll help right away. So, um, hack number two, to keep your towels fresher longer in the bathroom. Okay? I was raised where you used a towel once and threw it in the laundry. I can't even imagine that now. Of course, back then we were kids and we didn't have thick, thirsty adult towels, I guess you could say. So, I still think that's crazy. So, but anyway, this is what I do. I let myself dry after my shower. I stand there for 30 seconds to a minute to just let the water sheet off of you, and then take your towel. I'm telling you, you can get another day out of a towel. We have some towels we can get 3 days out of if I do that. Otherwise, we'd get two. We have other towels you could get 3 or 4 days out of, and this can get us 5 days if you do that. So it's just something I discovered years ago. If you just wait just 30 seconds to a minute, you'd be shocked at how much drier your towel is and that you'll get another day out of it. So anyway, hack number three, use your dishwasher if you have one. It's so much better than doing by hand. Um, and if you make sure you learn how to load it properly and stuff like that, and if you haven't used it in a while, it will leak the first few times you use it. Put towels under it, and then as the rubber around the door seals back up, you should be okay after a few washings. So if they're, and also with dishwashers, they have that big cup in there for detergent. You need a third of that at most. Okay, we rinse our dishes pretty good before we put them in, and we don't put in with food on it or anything like that. Some people are pigs, I guess. But anyway, I put a heaping tablespoon of dish uh, powder. I only use the powder, and that is more than enough. My dishes are always clean, and that's like a third of what they would put in that cup, right? The same like with toothpaste. It's the same concept. With toothpaste, they show the paste curly queuing up and down the tooth. No, you only need like an inch of toothpaste on your toothbrush at most. Okay? So it's the same concept. So number four here is laundry. Okay, if you're not using laundry sheets, and I know there people know about them more and more now, but you're like, here's just an example. These are bleach sheets. Now I had asked my partner, I said, will you pick us up some sheets? Normally we get Earth Breeze for our regular laundry. Um, they're not the best I've heard environmentally, but anyway, this is my partner ordered by mistake these bleach sheets, but this is fine too. This represents about a gallon of bleach. This is 40 loads, regular loads, okay, for bleach, and these things work, okay. Anyway, this will last me. We use a year because that's about how many loads we do of whites. So we don't use that much, but you get the same thing for regular detergent. These things really work too. I'm in New York and we have a laundry room here, so, but we have these machines that would take 45 pounds. They're huge. They would take three of these or three regular sheets for a huge thing. The smaller the load, one sheet, a medium load, two sheets, and a big load, you would need three sheets of whichever one you're using. Or that's what I would do, or at least try in the beginning. Anyway, instead of lugging around those plastic jugs. Now they say that there's some microplastics in this, but it's still a lot less than if you use the jugs. Okay. Um, the better ones to use are there's a woman that I follow on YouTube here. Her name is Taryn Maria, and she knows all the best stuff to use. She has an Amazon list there where you can figure all this stuff out. The reason I don't use the stuff on her list, it's a little too pricey for me right now. Okay, we're trying to get there. Um, but the other thing too is don't put too much soap in. In my laundry room, now that I use the sheets, I can't do this. But in the past, I used to use Tide powder for years. That's all I use. When I would start the machine, because I'm in a communal laundry room, I would put soap in first. I would wait because sometimes you would start a load and there would be so much soap in the machine still because people use way too much soap. So I would always wait till it went started going around, and then I would adjust the soap by what was left in the machine. Um, anyway, you don't need as much soap. It should be sudsing just a little if you use regular detergent, like Tide or something like that. It shouldn't be frothing with soap. That's too much soap, way too much soap. So anyway, number 5. This is a quick one. Wrap your celery in foil. As soon as you get it home from the store, pull out a great big thing, wrap it up nice and tight. Your celery will last, could be a month in the refrigerator. Okay? I'm telling you, it's a hack. This was given to us by my partner's niece many years ago, and it works. Amazing. So, okay. I also started making my own bread and yogurt, okay? And this is just an observation, okay? When I started doing that, I was losing weight without even trying, okay? I mean, I of course I was trying, but I mean, it was so much easier and the bread is so much better and the yogurt. Recently, we've been too busy and we've had issues, so I've had to buy some bread and rolls and things out there. And I swear I put on a couple pounds because I've been buying grocery store bread. So if you can, I suggest Taryn has a bread maker on there. I bought it from her site that also makes yogurt, and it's delicious. I just made yogurt last night. I took it out this morning. It's in the yogurt separator right now. So here's another little kitchen hack since we're in the kitchen. Okay, these are you buy them. They're little shower hats for bowls and plates and stuff like that. So when you take them out and then you just unfurl them like a shower hat. You literally could use one as a shower hat if you don't have a big head like me. But anyway, you could put them over plates and bowls and stuff like that. I have vision issues, and if I lose the end of the plastic wrap in the thing, forget it. I can't find it. So those they're lifesaver, and I know they're plastic, but at least they're something very, very functional. Okay, and you don't waste. So number 6, this is about bar soap. If you're an old timer like me and a lot of people, we use bar soap. Well, I use bar soap for the main thing, and then I use a synthetic puff, one of those synthetic puffs, and I also use tea tree body oil scrub. Okay, and I have back brushes, one for my feet and one for my back. Okay, so that's my shower routine. But when it comes to the shower, okay, this is what we've had. This is a thing that hooks in our linen closet right under the shelf, right? So this basket is 40 years old. I got this literally 40 years ago, okay? And we have been drying our soaps in here ever since. This is actually not a lot of soap for us. Okay, but let me explain the longer you let it dry, the better. When they come in paper like this is good because as this one has a hole in it, as these do. This is the high-end soaps come in paper, okay? Because they know that when they dry, they're better. So, and anyway, the longer you let your soap dry, the better. Have you ever gone to somebody's house, okay, and you're in their powder room, and they've got a bar of soap, and it's cracking, and it looks weird or whatever, and then you take it and you use it, and it just explodes with lather, and then you put it back, and you're like, geez, look at all that lather, and I hardly used any of that soap. That's because the soap is nice and dry. Okay, if you dry your soap, they will last. If you dry your bar soap for 3 months, I guarantee you'll get three more showers. I mean, I haven't done a thing on it, but I guarantee you'll get more showers out of it for sure. So, okay, here's another one. This is for guys. Number 7. Okay, I don't think this works for the ladies, but I think this definitely works for the guys. Okay, to prevent jock itch, okay, or crotch rot, or whatever you want to call it, you thoroughly dry yourself after your shower, and I mean thoroughly. And what we do, and I discovered this more than 30 years ago, okay, because I was susceptible, you get yourself a fan and you put it right in front of you, if you know what I mean, okay? And this sits in our living room, and we dry ourselves after every shower with this fan. So, and you make sure you get everything nice and dry. I'm telling you, I have gotten since I started drying myself with this thing. I used to get it, oh my gosh, a lot. I haven't gotten it 6 times in the last 30 years since I started doing this. Okay, so I'm telling you, it works. Use the fan after your shower. Make sure you're dry before you get dressed. Pardon me. Number 8 on the list is do not buy a cheap fan. This fan is an original Vornado fan, a reproduction of the original Vornado fan. This propeller is designed to, like an airplane propeller, to move air across wings. This thing will move more air in this apartment like you have no idea. It's amazing, right? So I knew somebody with these original Vornados back in the 80s, and he got them in the 40s and 50s or something like that. It's all metal, okay? Don't buy these cheap plastic fans. That was the thing too. What had happened, I'll explain it real quickly. Many years ago, I had bought an expensive metal fan, and then it just died after we'd had it for, I didn't even know how long. We had maybe had it 20 years, and all of a sudden it died. So we went out and bought a plastic fan at the drugstore because whatever. And that one lasted a year or two, and then we bought another one. And then finally I said, this is ridiculous. Fans are disposable. Let's buy another good metal fan. So I did my research. That's it, Vornado. It is a little bit pricey, but it's the last fan I'm ever going to have to buy. I'm 62, okay? And that thing, that's better, works better than a ceiling fan, I'm telling you. So so that was number 8. Don't buy a cheap fan. Okay. Number 9 is about energy efficiency appliances, energy efficient appliances. Okay. Um, and when it comes time to replace your appliance, a lot, like a refrigerator or anything like that, yeah, it sucks that you got to lay the money out and stuff like that. But the saving grace of it all is that all these appliances have become at least one-third more efficient over the last decade. So if you have a refrigerator that's 10 years old and it takes $30 a month, your new one is going to knock it down to $20 a month. Okay. So, anyway, that will help to defray the cost of these appliances. So, at least you have that. I know it doesn't hurt when you need that new stove or anything like that, but they do save money. I mean, it's funny, like our stove. Okay, years ago, our big old stove, you would come home and you'd cook something, it would heat up the whole apartment. Now, this stove is so insulated, it doesn't heat the apartment. I miss that factor in the wintertime. But anyway, also, like when it comes to washing machines, if you have to buy your own washing machine and stuff, front load washers, they use about a third the water. Okay, so if you're paying for water and if water's expensive, you really front load, you'll save money. You also use less detergent and get cleaner clothes, or at least you used to. That's what the statistics used to say. My laundromat downstairs, they only have front load machines. So um, also another energy efficient tip here is pull out your refrigerator once a year at least and vacuum those coils and make sure there's no dust around the back and stuff like that. Just once a year at least. So number 10, this is about preventing colds and flus and things like that. Okay. Use your keys. If you are in a city, whatever, you take out your key and use that. Or take out a pen. Do not put your fingers on the buttons, whatever you do. Um, uh, Years ago, let me tell you, I was in an elevator here in my building, and there was a child in there, and he was coughing and not covering his mouth, and his grandmother was there, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So anyway, a few days later, me and my partner came down with strep throat. Okay. Well, we were sick. I lost 10 pounds in 10 days. That's how sick I was. Okay. So as soon as I got better, though, I'm out going out of the building one day and I bump into my neighbor. She had the same thing. Okay. This is how important. I don't remember if I touched the elevator buttons or not, but I'm just saying this is one thing that I would never touch an elevator. I see people go up and go put their whole hand all over it, and it's like, ugh, you are getting, ugh. Anyway. So, but I had never been so sick, and we had to go to the doctor. Oh, it was a mess, and it was terrible. So, uh, number 11, this is about vacation purchases. When I was younger, we traveled a lot more and stuff like that, but it didn't take long for me to realize that I had to limit. We live in a small apartment, so I would only buy very small things. And at first, I had the rule that things had to fit in my hand, or be no bigger than my fist. Some of those rules have been, let me just show you some of the things I mean. Like I went to Greece, I brought home a few other things, but they were small things like this. This is a box I keep my cough drops in. Okay. This was, $10 or something in Greece. But it's a small little thing like that. So here's something from Peru. Okay. It's a gourd. It was a handcrafted item that somebody made there. Pretty cool, right? And those things like this is something I got this at the Grand Canyon. It's a little box the thing slides over, and this was from a stand there. It just was better than some Chinese souvenir. This was from Sequoia National Park. This was probably from China, So, but it says Sequoia and it's little, and I love Sequoia National Park. If you've ever been there, it's amazing. Okay, so let me show you a few more things here. Um, Wait, I lost myself. Here we go. This is a box I got. This was from Mall of America. It was this nice shop, and it's a leather box. It's really nice, and I've had this for many, many years. There are other things here, but anyway, small things. Oh, I want to show you this. This is something I found in Martha's Vineyard. Now, I am not a book collector. I believe in reading a book and passing it on. We have a library like in our laundry room, and I don't have. I own two books. This and another one. This is a Searchlight cookbook from 1939. And this, I'm telling you, was a very used cookbook. The tabs are all, and this has some amazing, and there's some old recipes in there that they stuck in there too. But this is the kind of stuff it is. And very heavy on bacon grease and lard and stuff like that. And I have consulted this book many times when company's coming or something like that. So but those are the kind of things I buy little tiny things on vacation, and because otherwise your house can become a junk pit of Chinese junk. Okay. Um, Eventually, I plan to get some kind of a display case to put this stuff in because I never could have anything out because we had cats, and so everything always had to be put away. So finally, this is my final one. My final tip is more for old people. Okay, for the old folks. Okay. Number one tip is to get your shoes up off the floor. Okay. Uh, Maybe a year ago or something, I finally figured this out for us. If you look behind, you'll see that buffet there. Okay. And we used to have to root around on the bottom of the closet floor, and it was pain and it was hard, and especially for my partner. He's going to be 82 in September. So I came up with the bright idea of doing this. I took everything, and now our shoes live in here in this buffet. We can get four per thing per shelf, and he has eight. I have four. We keep our slippers in the closet still, and I have some flip-flops in there. But for the most part, our shoes are in here, and we don't even have that many shoes anymore. So because we don't have to work and stuff like that. So, but if you can get your shoes up off the floor, I'm telling you, it was a game changer for us. When I did this, when I finally got them up and I went in there and we went through all of our shoes and we do have boots in our closet too. I forgot about that, but these are just regular shoes. But anyway, I found in the back of my closet a brand new pair of shoes, brand new pair of black tennis shoes, and I had just gone out like 2 weeks before and bought a pair of tennis shoes. Anyway, and so that's now at least I know what we have. So here's another one for old people. Okay, is I wear tube socks. Okay, now this look everybody will kind of look at me weird, but these are the old Hanes tube socks. You buy them on Amazon. They're not expensive. I had been prescribed compression socks many times by doctors and stuff, and I have tried different ones, and none of them work. But these, and you can buy them in very large. There's two sizes. There's like a regular, and then there's like an even larger one. These, I'm telling you, I can be out and about all day long, walking on my feet, and my legs don't swell, and they used to. And I think, besides losing weight and everything, these help. These definitely help. So, also, you never wear anything mid in your thigh. That is how you get clots. Okay, you do not. You either wear ankles or over the calf. Nothing in the middle. You're just asking for a clot. The older you are, so I even had a doctor when he saw that I wore those ones. He said, "Oh, you're so smart to wear this. People are, you really shouldn't do that." So anyway, next, wear your shirts, your t-shirts. I usually wear a t-shirt around the house. Wear it inside out. It's all smooth on the outside. On the inside, you've got the rough seams. Put it inside out. I'm telling you, it's so much more comfortable. I itch sometimes, and it relieves my itching like you wouldn't believe. So you can do it with your underwear too. Although I I buy underwear that is comfortable. If it's not comfortable, I need to with all my underwear, okay? I should if I can't open the drawer in the dark and reach in and just grab a pair of underwear and I know that it's something I like, something that fits properly, something that's comfortable, every one of my underwear is like that, okay? So don't buy crappy underwear, buy comfortable underwear. And when you find it, buy a whole bunch of them. Okay. For example, let me show you. These are my hats. Okay. And I need hats because I have for my eyes and I need them to cover my bald head. Okay. In the sun. So here, these are Old Navy hats. Now I only have four. Only have three here right now. Okay. Um, I thought I had four. So I guess I must have gotten rid of one, but these are Old Navy hats. I have worn these for years. And when they go on sale, I watch and then I walk over and I grab a hat or two or three at a time sometimes. So now, but they've been making these are corduroy hats and they breathe. They're cotton and they breathe. So, and that's why I like them. They're very, very comfortable. So when you find that's just what I do. I If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I have the same thing. I wear these Monarch uh, uh, shoes, and I have worn them. I have tried other pairs of shoes, and I always go back to them. The same black tennis shoes, and even the ones that I found in the block box, they were a different brand, and they weren't nearly as good as what I always buy, and they were the same price. So I was like, I'm going, but I'm sticking with my Monarch. I think they're Nike Air or something. Anyway, I'm sticking with it. It ain't broke. I'm not fixing it. So. Another thing too, if you're older, start decluttering now. I'm telling you, it takes forever. You know, it's emotional. It takes time. When I started with my partner maybe 5 years ago, he was completely resistant, so I said I'll just concentrate on myself. So I started going through my stuff. It took me years to go through my stuff, and it was all like painful and everything. Anyway, start doing it now. Okay. Um, and realize this, no one wants your stuff. They really don't. Unless you know somebody really wants it. And if they do, give it to them now. What are you hanging on to it for? To babysit it for them? You know, I wouldn't. You know, my mom, she was, I don't know what you say, but all of her stuff, because of all the drama that she caused and everything, it all ended up at Goodwill. Even gifts I'd bought her and stuff like that. We didn't have time to go there to fly out to look through her junk and everything else, and she didn't care to take care of it properly. So we all just were like, let it go. Anyway, that's a sad note to leave on. So let me leave you on a happy one. I want to mention Taryn Maria. I'm going to put a link in here to her, okay, to a couple of her videos, and she is amazing. She literally has changed my life. She helped to get me motivated to keep going. We were going, but at a snail's pace, and she helped to bring us up to a turtle's pace. How about that? So, no, she helped to inspire us. So. Since this is now not a video about politics this time, although I will return with some videos about politics closer to the midterms, I do want to make a proclamation, which is something I was going to do in my original plans for this and everything, all the best laid plans, right? Um, like I said in my last video, I plan to do more of this and all this stuff, but my partner was sick, and then I got sick, and then he got sick, and then he's not getting better, and now he is getting better. So it's been the last year. It's been bad. It started with losing our cat last August 15th, and it's just been kind of an S show since then. So, but the one thing that has helped me through everything, it helps me every day, I do it every single day, is make sure you take time out to listen to music, your favorite music, whatever it is. I use it for self-care and stress relief. It's really important to me. I would, you know, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have music. So, and I suggest, whatever music you like, go to it. Uh, and also, it's like a time machine. It can take you back in time. It can remind you of happier times and when things were simpler and stuff like that. So, okay. And I have some playlists here in my, if you want to look on my channel here. And, but I've also included some links to my favorite songs in the description. Okay. If you're interested, you can click on them, even faster. So, the thing too about music, some forms of music are literally disappearing. Take for example pipe organs. They've closed down like 15,000 churches in the last few years. So, and with that, imagine how many pipe organs are in a landfill right now, which is sad. But anyway, it was one of the things that that made church tolerable for me because I was an atheist from the time I was a little kid. So. And but I loved going there for the music. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in and staying with me. And I hope these hacks are good for you. I can't do the technical slipping in and out of things. I have vision issues. That's mostly why I can't do it. So, but if you want to take any of my hacks, put them in your hacks, put all the cutesy little videos and all that stuff in it, and the pictures, you go right ahead. Okay, so. But please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And please take a look at some of my other videos and podcasts and the playlists and posts and things like that. So, and thank you for coming to court. You've been dismissed. Have a great night.